Who were the Anunnaki of ancient Sumeria? Were they tyrants, or were they saviors of humanity? Disclosure TV, Dibert 2175. Do we suffer the curse of the Anunnaki? Despite living in the supposedly primitive years of 3000 to 4000 BC, the Sumerians were a remarkably advanced race of people. So how did the Sumerians come to possess their advanced knowledge and technology? According to ancient texts that have been recently uncovered, the Sumerians credited a group of deities known as the Anunnaki for bestowing this knowledge upon them. Now the question must be asked, were the Anunnaki simply a product of Sumerian mythology, or do they actually have a basis in fact? Were they supernatural? First, who are the Anunnaki? Modern knowledge of the Anunnaki begins with Sir Austin Henry Layard, an English archaeologist who discovered cuneiform tablets, one of the earliest styles of writing. He discovered them in the early 1800s. All of what is known about the Anunnaki comes from these tablets, which depict Sumerian myths and epics. But even today, as thousands of such tablets reside in the British Museum, many of them have yet to be translated. From what the tablets say, the Anunnaki was a group of deities that lived in ancient Mesopotamia, which encompasses much of the modern Middle East and the Holy Land. They're also known in some writings as the Nephilim of the Holy Bible, the Old Testament, of the Genesis section of the Bible. The writings of the Nephilim, those of royal blood and princely offspring. Among the key tales that include the Anunnaki are Enuma Elish, an epic that depicts a story similar to the Christian creation story in which humans are created by the gods, and also the Epic of Gilgamesh, an epic that details a great flood that was sent by the Anunnaki. It's explained that during the flood, the gods delivered instructions to a select few servants to build a ship to rescue a small group of humans and animals. I have read the Epic of Gilgamesh. You can see it in my playlists if you wish to listen to that in its entirety. Going back to this article, obviously this tale bears a striking resemblance to the biblical tale of Noah's Ark. It's also clearly not entirely a tale, as evidence of enormous floods has been found that date back to this time period. Now, we don't know if this was exactly Noah's Ark, maybe it was some other flood before that. Now, it's possible then that a group of beings known as the Anunnaki used some sort of ship to rescue some humans from the flood, who later wrote this information down for record keeping. But what type of beings were they, and what kind of ship did they use? Was it a large wooden vessel like the one described in the Bible, or could it have been some more advanced, like a spaceship? The ancient tablets give little information about the origins of the Anunnaki, although it's said that they resided in Mesopotamia, today's Middle East. They spoke a language different from the locals, meaning they must have been from elsewhere. According to Zechariah Sitchin, a well-known skeptic of official narratives and histories, the Anunnaki were an alien race that came to Earth and controlled all of civilization for thousands of years. They arrived from a planet known as Nibiru, or Planet X, which most likely exists in our solar system, although it is thought to be well outside of Neptune and Pluto's orbits. Why the Anunnaki came to Earth is a topic that's highly debated within the Anunnaki scholar community. And these are just a few of the theories. One, that they came to Earth to look for gold to mine in Africa. There's evidence of very early gold mining in some parts of Africa, which could lend support to this theory. Two, the creation tablets, the tales, may not be entirely false. They may have created the modern human race for their own benefit, specifically to mine for gold. An additional part of this theory speculates that our race may have been formed as a hybrid of Earth animals and the Anunnaki. And third, finally, Some say that they were sent to watch over humans by an even greater power or consciousness while we were coming together as civilizations. So, what type of information might they have passed down? The Sumerians were always well known for their sophisticated astronomy and mathematical theories and abilities, which far surpassed other civilizations of their time. In addition to astronomy and mathematics, the Sumerians had a deep understanding of energy fields, which would be very odd for a group of humans dwelling in the desert. It does not seem that the Sumerians would have had any particular need to study energy fields, so how did they learn so much unless they were told by a more intelligent species? Many believe the Sumerians used this technology and knowledge to construct pyramids and monoliths in accordance with the stars. So it's clear from their texts and legends that ancient Sumerians had a deep fascination with and respect for the Anunnaki because they praised them as gods. The Sumerians openly give credit to the Anunnaki for their advanced knowledge. Now, so how could such beings have arrived on Earth to help the Sumerians? Since there is no record of these beings might have arrived outside from the uniform tablets, it's quite possible these intelligent beings did indeed arrive from another world as described in the ancient texts. Well, let's remember that all these cuneiform tablets that are sitting in the British Museum have yet to be translated. Perhaps if they were translated, we'd have a lot more answers to these questions. Of course, the ultimate question is why? Why did they feel the need to give us such powerful knowledge? Was it a generous gift, or were they somehow curating humans for their own purposes? Perhaps most importantly, did they ever leave? Is it possible that they're still walking among us, either watching over our foolish young civilization, or perhaps continuing to use us to their own needs? If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.